No problem. I think everybody was happy. I think I saw Brandon Bailey, his development guy. I saw him getting pretty ecstatic. Yeah, we were calling him Ben Simmons for the longest. But he knocked one down, and Ben knocked him down too. So shout out to both of those guys.
He tried to clean it up. You can't clean it up.
You can't clean that up.
That's bulletin board material.
I love it.
Ben Simmons shot a 3 last night. Didn't make it.
They're trying to do one a game, right?
Yeah, I mean, he shot a couple games ago. He was 1 for 1. He's shot 4 threes in the last 10 games. He's 1 for 4. But at least he's trying.
Is he?
Yes.
Is he?
Do you
He had
mind,
never
Jay,
shot any prior to this year.
Do you mind them calling him Ben Simmons?
No, not at all.
You don't mind that?
That is fueling the Sixers. That's going to fuel them. That's going to be bulletin board material. Why poke the bear?
Shade.
You're poking the bear. That bear right there, number 25. That bear.
First of all, you did that with your right hand, which some would say Ben Simmons should be shooting with his right hand. Our friend Kevin O'Connor says he's shooting with his wrong hand, which might be true. There's this bulletin board. How are
you in the NBA and you don't know what hand to shoot with?
Well,
this is an
prerequisite
for getting into
listen, this
the
is
NBA.
a controversial opinion.
It would be like I wouldn't know what corner of my mouth to speak out of.
Just like it.
Told you. That's what I said.
Just like it.
Stories to start your morning now brought to you by the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil. Kawhi Leonard making his much anticipated return to Toronto tonight. Wait, Nick, check for me. He's playing, right? He's actually playing.
I think he is.
Okay. What do you expect from him tonight?
I'm going to try to talk out of the corner of my mouth. I don't even...
Both
do you
sides.
talk out of the corner of your mouth?
Metaphorically speaking.
Metaphorically speaking?
Just
What was the question? What do I expect from Kawhi?
That's the question.
I think Kawhi will play well. I don't think Kawhi is the type of guy to where he's going to say, I'm back in Toronto, I'm going to put on a show. And that is not shade. I promise that's not shade. I just think he is more even-keeled than that. And so I think he'll play well. The truth is, for the Clippers, they've been a bad road team this year. They're 5-6 on the road. And Kawhi has been playing beneath his standards since Halloween, shooting 40% from the field and 30% from 3. So he needs to pick it up a bit. We'll see. Toronto's very good now. They won 58 last year. They're on pace to win 58 again this year, thanks to how great Pascal Siakam's been.
Toronto is very good. They're showing, look, it wasn't just Kawhi. I mean, he was a star, but they've got other great players. And Pascal Siakam is going to be an all-star for the first time this year.
No doubt.
Last time Kawhi played against Toronto, it was in L.A. He didn't play that well. Now, he came on late and helped them get the win, but they trailed most of the game. He had only 12 points, I believe. A near triple-double, but only 12 points. So I expect certainly a better game from him tonight. And part of their road struggles are because Kawhi misses a lot of games on the road when they play back-to-back. So I think the Clippers are fine. I certainly think they're much better than you do. We know that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get the win.
I think Toronto wins tonight. I think Toronto's been outstanding at home. They've been underrated.
They're a contender in the East.
Yeah.
You think?
Again.
All right, on to the Patriots now, who are under investigation for another videotaping incident, with Bill Belichick letting everyone know he has, quote, no involvement. A recent report says that severe sanctions are unlikely for the team. Nick, have all the allegations over the years against the Patriots tarnished their dynasty?
It's certainly a part of their story. You can't tell their story without including these. And I would just caution the audience, and I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on the report that severe repercussions are unlikely. What I am going to say is, in the initial Spygate, there was some very seemingly buttoned-up reporting that then had to be retracted, with the Boston Herald having to retract the whole story. With the Deflategate, it seemed like there were some reports leaked by one side that then were a little shaky. Like, I'd be very cautious on assuming that the first words out on these things are accurate. I've been led to believe the league is still looking into this, so I don't know if the league knows whether or not this is a misdemeanor, a felony, or a nothing.
Well, let's be honest. The league hopes that they aren't severe sanctions.
Correct.
The last thing they want is their best team for the last 20 years to really be tainted. Yeah. I mean, it already is tainted to some degree, to answer Jenna's question. But if this thing is as big as some people think it is, or way bigger than we know right now, that's a problem not only for the Patriots, but for the NFL. So Again, to answer a question, yeah, unfortunately it's tainted because I'm one that has great respect for what they've done over the last 2 decades. I've said Belichick and Brady are the GOATs at their respective positions, but you can't overlook the repeated cheating. One time, Spygate, okay. Deflategate's a whole different situation with the boss, okay. A third time? Because if you keep getting caught, you've probably done it way more than you actually gotten caught doing it. So, unfortunately, yeah, it's tainted.
All right, moving on to the Dallas Cowboys now. How about this for a head-scratcher? Dak, Zeke, and Amari are the first Cowboys trio to hit the collective marks of 4,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, and 1,000 receiving yards in franchise history. Unfortunately, all those numbers boil down to a mediocre 6-7 record. Nick, why is the Cowboys' talent not translating into wins?
Well, this is why I think Jason Garrett has to go. Because they haven't been hit with just a scourge of injuries the way Philly has. They haven't had their quarterback that we expect to have a good season fall off the way Baker Mayfield has. They haven't all of a sudden just been getting blown out of games. What's happened is they are 0-6 against teams with a winning record, and they are 0-5 in games decided by 7 points or less. That is the details. That is the ability for your team to make the biggest plays in the biggest spots or to have a schematic edge. Now, some of that can fall on the shoulders of Dak Prescott, but the rest of that falls to me on the shoulders of the coaching staff, offense and defensive coaching staff. So that's why you can have these gaudy numbers and have the team underachieve the way they did. The other way would be if the defense was just horrific. Your offense playing great, defense just horrific.
But that's not the case.
Right. The defense, I would argue, has been disappointing, right. But it's not like they have they're not the Arizona Cardinals defense this year, right? The Chiefs rush defense this year, or a team, the Saints, the Saints had a bunch of years where Drew Brees threw 5,000 yards, they were 7-9 because the defense could not get it together.
Yeah, look, first of all, let's address the statistics. I mean, we know the Cowboys have had tremendous quarterbacks who are much better at this point than Dak Prescott. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman. But it was a different game, and they weren't throwing for 4,000 yards. I mean, nowadays to throw for 4,000 is not that huge of an achievement for a quarterback. So let's go there for the young guns. But I agree with you on the things you said about Jason Garrett. I also would throw this in, though. Jerry Jones has created a circus. And granted, he's done this throughout his tenure there for the most part. But this year, I think he overreacted to the loss to New England. And I'm not saying they were playing great football before that, because they weren't. They lost to New Orleans without Drew Brees there. However, a 13-9 loss in Foxborough is not the time to panic. That's not a 13-9 loss to the Jets, okay? And he overreacted, I think, trying to get Jason Garrett a sense of urgency about him.
Light a little fire under him.
And the players as well, and it backfired. And because if he wasn't just trying to light a fire, he probably would have fired him. But he never had any intention of even thinking about firing him at that point in the season. So I think it's just gotten worse each week as Jerry's talked more and more. And I know that's his custom, but still, I think now Jason Garrett is coaching tight because he knows finally that this could be the last year. And I think the players are playing tight because of all the hoopla and the hype and everything that's going on.
Well, and I think, can we show the Cowboys on the year, points scored per game, points allowed, their numbers? So look at the Cowboys are the team on the left, obviously. The team on the right, they're scoring more points than every game. They're getting more yards. They're allowing just slightly fewer points, about the same, and they're allowing fewer yards. So you would think those two teams are going to have similar results. Show me the team on the right. It is the 10-3 Green Bay Packers. How can one team have that level of success and the other team have the other? By the way, with the Packers, I would argue a tougher division, maybe a tougher road.
Right.
It's because Rodgers has not made the critical mistake, and Matt LaFleur has not put the team at a schematic disadvantage. It's the only way. You can be scoring more points, allowing fewer, accumulating more yards, allowing fewer, and have 3 fewer wins. Because the Packers found a way to win a 5-point game against Minnesota, a 7-point game in the opening night against Chicago, to go to Kansas City and win a 7-point game, albeit against a backup quarterback. Dallas has found ways to lose, while the teams that are achieving to the level they should have found ways to win.